Hello and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. I'm Jamie Lee, and today I wanted to talk all about the 3-word method, which really this video was inspired by my YouTube friend Alyssa Beltempo, and I'm going to link her original video down below. Now, I think many of us have really started to feel a bit of a seismic shift in our personal style, at least over the last few years, and for many of us it almost has felt like we've had to start that style journey from scratch all over again, which is really reflective of this huge shift in our lifestyle. I talk a lot about tools that we can use to define our style and also to help us put together outfits, and that's one of the things that really drew me towards this method, which is really the brainchild of Alison Bornstein, who is a New York and LA based stylist. If you're not already familiar with her, she actually is here on YouTube. I'm going to link her channel below as well, along with her TikTok, but she really champions this approach and it's something that she uses with all of her clients. I think it's a really great way to distill your style down into the core essence of what it is, and can be really helpful in terms of putting together your outfits and looking for these varying factors. Another person who utilizes this approach, but I would say in a bit more of an indirect way, would be Amy Smilovic, who is the creative director and founder of Tibby, a brand which you've probably heard me talk about a lot. I really love their IG live series, and if you go back and watch the ones from the beginning, I think that there's some really useful information there too, which can help you on your style journey. So highly recommend spending some time watching through those. Although a quick word of warning, it may not be the best for your bank balance. So what is the 3-word method? Essentially, it is 3 adjectives which help to define your style in a really concise way. So this can be words which are really quite literal, things like classic or bohemian or edgy, but then it can also be things that are a little bit more abstract, like sculptural or creative or soft. And I suppose from that perspective, it really gives you a lot of flexibility around the way that you actually use these style adjectives in terms of defining your personal style. So how do we actually use the 3-word method to define our personal style? So what Alison suggests doing is pulling out what she calls her closet regulars. I refer to this as wardrobe heroes, but essentially what these are the workhorses in your closet, the things that you wear on repeat and that are the building blocks or foundations of your outfit. They really encapsulate the essence of what you like to wear and what you actually feel really comfortable in. When you have them all spread out in your bed, on a rail, wherever, you want to look for commonalities. So what are some of the themes that you can see reflected in each of these items? Is there a similar color theme? Is there a particular style that you can see reflected in each of these pieces? Is the thing that is jumping out at you the way that you actually style these items together? These will form your first 2 adjectives. The 3rd word is going to be slightly more aspirational and really summarize what you want your outfits to kind of feel like when you're wearing them. So obviously there's going to be a lot of fluidity and flexibility around these words. It's really not something that you can get wrong, and you could have the same 3 words as another person, but the way you actually put your outfits together and the way that you wear them is very different because of how you interpret those words with relation to your own personal style. And I think for me that really is a bit of a draw card, and I just think this is a really great tool in terms of helping you figure out what it is that you like wearing, or what it is about what you're wearing that makes you feel really comfortable and confident in your outfits. The best part about this approach is that you aren't encouraged to go out and buy anything new. You can utilize those 3 words to really remix the items that you already have in your wardrobe so that they are reflective of your personal style. It's all about the little details and the way that we incorporate that essence of those words into our outfits. So clearly there is a lot of flexibility around this 3-word system, and I think it's also worth noting at this point that our style is transient and it will change over time, and your adjectives may also change over time. You may also find that that 3rd word sort of is interchangeable between a couple of different adjectives, and this is something that I have found true of my own personal style. I'm going to share my 3 words with you in a moment and actually maybe reflect on what my personal style adjectives were 10 years ago, because they have changed, but there are some slight similarities. So what are my 3 words? Well, I think probably the first one that comes to mind when I think about my personal style is minimal, and this is reflected in a few different ways. So the first is without embellishment. I don't tend to wear many items that have any little flourishes or ruffles or any sort of intricate detail to them. I like things that are reasonably basic but that do have a bit of a twist, and so that kind of leans into the second point of minimal, is that they are more basic items, and I am wearing a lot of basics in terms of what I'm pairing together day to day. Also minimal in terms of the lines. So the structure of my outfits is also quite clean and crisp. I do like those sort of soft and more sculptural elements, but they only come to the forefront every now and then. It's not a core element of my style. Finally, it's also reflected in the color palette that I tend to wear as well, which is really quite muted and subdued. So I wear a lot of white, gray, and black, also a lot of navy, and you've probably noticed recently that even through the injection of color into my closet, it is not bold, it's not loud, it's not sort of shouting at you. It is very kind of calm and sort of sits in the background. The way I put together my outfits in that way isn't making everyone look at me from that perspective. My second word is classic, and I almost feel like it's a bit of a cop-out using these two words, but for me they really are what encapsulate my personal style. Classic in terms of the types of items that I tend to wear. They're usually those pieces that you see a lot on those wardrobe itemized lists of things that you should have in your closet. Also, they're kind of classic in terms of the sense that I could wear them within any decade and it wouldn't look like my outfit was dated. Generally what I tend to do is look for little modernized finishes that I could wear for a really long time. So things that maybe might be slightly on trend in that moment, but that aren't going to feel dated within a couple of years or so. It's also classic in the silhouettes that I tend to wear and also the fabrics that I choose. That being said, I do also really appreciate modernity, and I tend to find myself switching between playing with more feminine and masculine components when it comes to putting together an outfit. The third word was the one that I actually found the most tricky to nail down, and I started with deliberate. Deliberate in the sense that when I'm putting together an outfit, it's very thought out and very considered. I'm thinking about the proportions, how I'm balancing out everything in terms of a way that feels interesting to me. I'm thinking about the textures that I'm incorporating into my outfit, and also I'm thinking about what is practical for my life as a mum. But I realized that it didn't really feel quite right, just something about it didn't jive with me. So I decided to reflect on it a little bit more, and I realized one of the things that I'm always conscious of when I'm putting together my outfits every day is comfort. So comfortable ended up being my third word, in the sense that I want to be wearing things that I feel personally comfortable in, but also from a tactile perspective as well. I like my fabrics to feel soft and cozy, to have a little bit of a lived-in element to them. I like my silhouettes to be relatively loose so that I can move around, because that is a large part of my day when it's just me and the kids. And yeah, that's sort of where I ended up landing on in the end, and I think that sort of fits it really perfectly. For me, comfortable doesn't necessarily mean wearing a sweatshirt and sweatpants. I've got one lounge set like that and I actually hardly ever wear it. So it's more of an elevated take on that and how I can introduce comfort into my outfits in a way that really feels reflective of me. Now, also, I just want to apologize if this has felt like I've stopped and started a lot. We've got a lot of background noise outside. There's some works happening on the street, and also the lighting has just been going in and out because of the clouds. So I really wanted to end this video by sharing a few examples of some outfits and just sort of talking about my three words and how they relate to those outfits, because I thought it might be helpful to have a little bit of a visual. So I wanted to start with first outfit, which is just a very, very simple t-shirt and jeans with some ballerina pumps. And I think you can see here that this really is relatively reflective of all of my words. However, I feel like it needs a little bit of something extra in order to feel finished and done. When I look at this, it feels a bit more like a blank canvas, and like it doesn't have any of my personality injected into it, and I really want my personal style essence to come through with whatever I'm wearing. So for the first iteration, I threw on a really big oversized blazer. I really like this, and actually you'd be surprised, I find it really practical for my day-to-day life. I like the fact that it has this really nice sort of soft rounded edges at the shoulders. It is really oversized and comfortable from that perspective. It's really nice and roomy, and it creates shape. The entire outfit is really minimal from the perspective of it having a minimal color palette and also being embellished. It is really classic because it's comprised of classic pieces. You've got the t-shirt, the skinny jeans, the blazer, and then the ballerina shoes. It also feels slightly modern because I have added in that oversized blazer, which is very much a trend of the moment. I know it's not for everybody. And then, yeah, we've got that soft sort of comfortable component as well. For the second take on this, I actually just threw on a really big oversized knit sweater. I really love wearing this sort of thing with a skinny jean, especially one that's got a lot of stretch. And that's really my big tip for wearing skinny jeans and making sure they're comfortable. Make sure they are super duper stretchy. But again, this is a way that I can feel like I'm wearing something that's really roomy, that is soft and has that really beautiful fuzzy kind of tactile element against my skin. And I do feel like I can easily run around in this. And again, still got the minimal color palette. It's really sort of minimally designed. There aren't any flourishes or any sort of embellishments, and it's all very classic items, just a little bit more modern. And I suppose when I think about my third word and how it might sort of have a bit of flexibility, I would say modernity or modern would be the alternative word that I would sometimes incorporate in my own way. Now for the second outfit, I wanted to show you how I'm wearing this patent leather skirt, and I actually wore it with another ballerina flat. So flat shoes I find really practical for my day-to-day life. For me, that's a really nice comfortable element of the outfit, being a ballet flat but with a pointed toe. It's also really classic, it's really minimal because again, it's just a minimal design, it's not embellished. Then we have the skirt, which this does have those modern components to it. The fact that it is a little bit shiny, it feels slightly futuristic in a way, which I like. It's got a very classic sort of a silhouette because it is the A-line style and it's a midi skirt, quite modest, which is sort of something else I tend to put into my outfits quite a lot. And then I am wearing it with a little turtleneck top, long sleeved one. Now I actually wanted to amp up the cozy factor with this outfit. I thought that all of these items combined are really classic and it is a really nice outfit, but I wanted to make it feel a little bit more me. And there is a sort of slouchiness in my outfits at the moment that is something that I've been really drawn to. So I decided to swap out the turtleneck knit for a really big oversized cashmere sweater, which I have slightly tucked into the waistband of the skirt so that it creates a little bit of shape and it has this really nice soft appeal on top, which I like, and it's kind of as though I'm being enveloped in a little bit of a cloud, which who doesn't want that on a bit of a dreary day. And then for the third outfit, I've really just opted for quite a subtle difference between the first option and the second option. So here, I would say all of these items are very classic. Again, I'm wearing a t-shirt. This one is a slightly slimmer fit and I've gone for a very classic minimal color palette. It's all neutrals, which we know I absolutely love. So we've also got a nice trouser. This one feels a little bit updated and fresh because it is wider and it has this really interesting pleat down the front, which almost has a sculptural component to it. The fact that they are a wider leg also makes them really comfortable, which I really appreciate. And the fabrics as well that I'm wearing here, they're natural fiber, so they feel really nice against my skin. Then we also have my little two-tone pumps, which have been a go-to for me over the years. I can literally walk over 10,000 steps in these in one day and not get a single blister. I can't really rave about them enough. So you can see it's really ticking all those boxes. It's minimal, it's classic, and it's comfortable, but I wanted to inject a little bit more personality, so I decided to swap out the t-shirt for one that has a little bit more structure through the shoulders. That creates a little bit more shape, and it is more of a sharper shape. And this is where that minimal aspect of my style kind of comes into play. I think that when I reflect on what the word minimal means to me, sometimes it does mean slightly more architectural or sculptural shapes, and that is really what I'm drawing on for that element of my outfit. So a very, very subtle change, but for me, it just really helped to bring that minimal aspect to the forefront a little bit more. And I think that this is a way that we can really play with our style, and a great thing to kind of keep in mind when we are adding or subtracting items from our outfit to sort of make it feel like us. So I hope that you found this video helpful. I hope that you enjoyed it and learning a little bit more about my 3 words. I can't remember if I said what my 3 words were when I was about 24. I would say that they were classic, minimal, and then also flirty. I had a bit more of a romantic style. It was a little bit more playful and fun from that perspective. But yeah, that is it from me. If you did enjoy this, please give it a thumbs up. If you're new here and you want to see more styling videos from me, then I would love to have you back. So please do hit the subscribe button. And I want to know what your 3 words are. Please tell me down in the comments section below. I will pop a list of them on screen, some of the different adjectives that I have seen used, which might be helpful if you are yet to actually try this method with your own wardrobe and your own personal style. And as I mentioned, don't forget to go and check out Alison Bornstein's TikTok and her YouTube channel, where she really does deep dives into the 3-word method, and also the Tibby IG lives, I think, are fab. So that's it from me. Thank you so much for watching and spending some of your day with me, and I will see you next time with a brand new video. See you very soon. Bye.